A festival was designed. Snakes were given a godlike status. It's not godly status. It is not God. It's just that the status is, if God was going to save my family, if God was going to save my kids, the snake is also saving my kids from hunger. So I worship the snake. Every festival in my religion, Hinduism, is about our own understanding about the significance of some kind of thing. May it be a snake, may it be rain, may it be fire. We are bowing down because that is significant in our life. It's not holy, it's not divine. We call cow a mother because we drink milk. I don't know why a trained historian has a problem to understand that. Is Audrey educated? Or is she just informed? Is she talking about information or education, or she's learned something, or she has developed some wisdom about it? With what I read from Audrey's tweet, she has no clue what this is. She thinks information itself is education. She has never ever talked about learning in any of her tweets that I read, and I don't find a word called as wisdom in anything that she's written anywhere. She can correct me. I would love to be corrected. But I don't think, Audrey, you can tell me, when was the last time you used the word wisdom? Seriously. And not talking about lack of wisdom, talking about wisdom somewhere. When was the last time you used the word? I don't think you ever. So that's the kind of, lady that we are dealing with. Namaste. This video is dedicated to Audrey Tosche, the famous, extremely knowledgeable, trained historian, professor, and whatnot. And she's been talking very vehemently and very aggressively about the global hindutva, and there are programs about dismantling global hindutva. So I thought that it was enough, so I should say something about this. I've been thinking about it, but now I'm saying this. In her last tweet, Audrey mentions about being educated and the educator, and she's saying that it's high time that the religious fanatics stop threatening the educators. And I completely agree. The religious fanatics should not be threatening the educators. But are the educators educated? Is Audrey educated? Or is she just informed? Is she talking about information or education, or she's learned something, or she has developed some wisdom about it? With what I read from Audrey's tweet, she has no clue what this is. She thinks information itself is education. She has never ever talked about learning in any of her tweets that I read, and I don't find a word called as wisdom in anything that she's written anywhere. She can correct me. I would love to be corrected, but I don't think, Audrey, you can tell me, when was the last time you used the word wisdom? Seriously. And not talking about lack of wisdom, talking about wisdom somewhere. When was the last time you used the word? I don't think you ever. So that's the kind of lady that we are dealing with. So let's just educate her. She's been talking about education, right? So let's take this thrill and educate her. Audrey, this is an object. I had my nephew with me when I was using this object to lock my door. He was so small at that time, and he was very curious. He started to talk, and he would talk and ask anything. So he asked me, "What is this?" I said, "This is lock." He said, "Lock?" I said, "Lock." He says, "Okay, lock." Audrey, I want you to pay attention to the tone of this. Huh? They are very careful. I'm not a brilliant actor, but I'm fairly good. So I think you can understand what I'm trying to say. So my nephew asked me, "What is this?" And I said, "Lock." I said, "Yeah, it's lock. We use it daily. You don't know. This is lock." So with that tone, I say, "This is lock." He's asking, "Lock?" So he's saying, is that what you said? Lock? Did I hear that right? Is that what the name is? Lock? Really? I said, "Yes. Lock. Lock." And he's like, "Okay. Lock. Okay. Now I remember the name of this. I will, whenever I see this object, I will recollect that name, lock. So the kid has just mapped this object with that label or name. That's it. This is called as information. The information about this object is the name lock. That's it. This is information. This is not knowledge. This is not wisdom at all. Audrey, I'm educating you. It's your chance. Don't complain after this. All your years, you might be 50 years, 60 years, whatever be the age. Let's say you're 20 years old. It's impolite for a man to talk about a lady's age. So, please forgive that. So whatever be the age, and you obviously have been an educator, so you have been educated as well, supposedly. So I'm educating you now, finally. This is lock. It's just an information. The knowledge about this it came to my nephew when he grew up and when he had certain chocolates. And when I visited his house, he was so fond of me. But he wanted to give me a surprise with the chocolates. I didn't like chocolates. I don't like chocolates much. But it was my nephew, so I just pretended like I enjoyed the chocolates. But he was giving me a surprise. So till the time he gave me the chocolates, he did not want me to find out. But he did not want to stop me from entering his room. So what did he do? He found a small box. He used a small lock and a key, locked it. That day was his first understanding of the functionality of this device, which is called lock. This time, my nephew is not having an information about the label of the object. He's having the knowledge of when and where is this object useful in his own life. Do you understand this, Audrey? There is a difference between information and knowledge. And wisdom is when to use it and when not to use it. He used the lock to hide his chocolates from me because he wanted to give a surprise after a couple of hours. This is called as wisdom. Knowing when to use, why to use, when not to use, why not to use. This is a part of wisdom. Now, I'm sure that with this lock and with this, Audrey will find it very difficult because she's so educated that understanding wisdom for an educated one from a Western world is almost impossible. So I'll help her more. I'll talk about a festival that India was ill-named with for centuries. For centuries, India was called the land of snake charmers. All hindutva, Hinduism, no other religion has that festival. Snake charmer is like, we have a festival called Nag Panchami, where a snake charmer will come with his bean and just keep on playing that. What will happen? The snake will just simply keep on shaking his head. And Western people were so impressed. They laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. And they were like thinking, what kind of people are these? A snake charmer comes, plays his small instrument. The snake is shaking his head. Everybody is offering milk to the snake. They're bowing down. What kind of people is this? What kind of society is this? I'll tell you, Audrey, what kind of society we are. And it's all Hindutva because the festival was Hindu festival. There is no festival like that in any other religion. So, we know this. Before that festival existed in Hinduism, during monsoon, it will rain heavily. And, from mid-July to end of August, it really rains a lot in India. So there are many places where all the holes inside the soil are completely filled with water. The snakes have nowhere to go. So the snakes come out. All the snakes come out. What happens is, some people walking towards their crops into the field, they have no idea there are snakes hiding there. So one day, eventually, someone trod upon the snake. The snake bit him. The snake happened to be a poisonous snake. The man died. And it kept on happening many times. And people got very upset because, snake bite causing untimely death to a human being is not an acceptable thing. It's never been an acceptable thing. So people used to carry some sticks and all. Every time they see a snake, they'll just hit it, they'll just kill it. And the number of snakes suddenly reduced. They thought, it's sorted. It wasn't. What happened is, every time they'll find out that, after the entire crop and harvest, and they cut their crops and they, get the yield and store that in the godown, the farmers found that most of the yield goes a waste because rats have a field day and they eat it all. So only a small part of the yield is actually useful. They were wondering, how do we save this yield? But then there was a story about some man whose name is not known. Some man who lived there. He had not developed a habit of killing the snakes. He was just one such guy, nice-hearted, so he wouldn't kill anyone. So every time he saw the snake, he just avoided the snakes. He just went round. But he did not kill the snake. The snakes were never on a mission to kill him or anybody else. So the snakes did not even chase him or hunt him down. The snakes existed. He existed in his field. But his crops, his yield was not spoiled as much. The rats did not eat that as much. People wondered. And they asked, are you a man of God or something? He said, no. I'm just a man of sense. If I kill the snakes now, who will kill those rats which are going to eat my entire yield? I must save the snakes so that eventually my yield is safe from the rats. People saw the point. They decided, every time in monsoon we see the snake, we are not going to kill him. We are not going to kill the snakes. But then that's understood in that generation. How do you pass on this knowledge to the next generation? By writing theses about it. Audrey, you have written theses. And you've written a lot of stuff, I believe. I'm sure about this. How many simple American citizens have read your thesis? We're not talking about PhD students. We're not talking about, students seeking to learn great history. We're talking about ordinary citizens. Have they read your thesis? No one cares a damn about it. At that time, the men in India, ancient India, wanted to create something which will result in a situation where even if you do not know the logic as to why do you save the snake, you must still save the snake. Even though without knowing the logic, you still do the right thing. Hence, a festival was built around it. Snake was given a godlike status because if I save the snake now, the snake will kill the rats and will save my yield, and my family and my kids are fed. So indirectly, unknowingly, the snake is just acting according to his nature, but the snake is indirectly saving my kids from dying out of hunger. So I owe it to the snake, and I'm folding my hands and wishing, praying, and I'm also saying that I will also take care that I don't kill you, and I offer you milk to drink. A festival was designed. Snakes were given a godlike status. It's not godly status. It is not God. It's just that the status is, if God was going to save my family, if God was going to save my kids, the snake is also saving my kids from hunger. So I worship the snake. There is a wisdom behind this one. Audrey, there is a wisdom here. We are a land of snake charmers. We are not stupid to be doing that. We are talking about the ecology, the life of a snake, life of rats, and my agricultural yield, and eventually it affecting the life of my own family. There is a chain, food chain here. And we designed this festival far before people in the Western world even knew how to read and write. You know? So yeah, please condemn Hindutva. Please say what you want. Please go bang bang about the aggressive Hindutva, Hinduism being so stupid, so notorious, so aggressive, so cultureless, mannerless people. The day you start talking wisdom, Audrey, you'll have to come back here. The example of lock, I was just telling you that now. My nephew understand the functionality and significance of lock when he needed to use it to hide the chocolates. He learned it in his own life. Every festival in my religion, Hinduism, is about our own understanding about the significance of some kind of thing. May it be a snake, may it be rain, may it be fire. We are bowing down because that is significant in our life. It's not holy. It's not divine. We call cow a mother because we drink milk. I don't know why a trained historian has a problem to understand that. Apart from human beings, every other animal drinks milk only from his mother. That's it. We drink cow's milk. We drink buffalo's milk. Some people also drink milk from a goat. No one is stopping anyone from giving a motherly status to the animal. Hinduism doesn't say that you don't worship a buffalo. We are not against that. If somebody is saying cow is like my mother, Audrey has a problem with that. Why? He is not calling you a cow. Why do you have a problem with that, Audrey? What is your problem? Just because you don't have the wisdom that we have. We are not complicating things. We are saying if snakes can save my kids from dying of hunger, snake is like God to me. That's it. I'm saying if cow feeds me and my family with her milk, I'm going to call her mother. That's it. As simple as that. We are very simple people. So Audrey, be careful. When you call yourself an educator or an educated one, understand this. Information is not education. Education does not mean learning. And learning does not guarantee wisdom. I am talking about Indian wisdom. I still don't know if you understood this, but we'll know. You'll tweet about it, I know that. You all have been doing that, That's all you have been doing. Good luck to you, Audrey. Thank you. Enjoy your day.